bottom. Apollo 13 with it. Toast up, we have a problem. Now we on a mission, spitting in the kitchen, cooking tracks. And they gotta listen cause they ain't got a choice. Look at me now, I ain't looking back. I don't think they know what's about to hit them. Run and tell your friends that you best go get them. Watch how we about to change the game like I just changed up my rhythm.
What's up world, it's your girl Brittany, and today I'm here with somebody very special. Jin, what's going on?
The original dragon.
The original.
You hear that, Cisco? Let me put some context into that. Because we was just chatting about this beautiful wall. I was thinking about the wall, and Cisco is on the wall somewhere, I think.
Over here.
Yeah, and then you mentioned that you chatted with Cisco recently, and we were talking about what year it is, and unfortunately, it is not the year of the dragon. No shots fired. I just wanted to clarify.
What year is this year?
Right now, well, the coming year, 2015, is year of the sheep. So yeah, but it's not the dragon. It's not the dragon this year. It's not the dragon next year.
Chinese New Year starts like the second week of January, right?
Around that time. It varies every year, but it is around the end of January.
How do you keep track?
Well, I mean that's the whole point. It's a calendaring thing.
Okay, so you gotta stay woke. Okay, so you have a new project coming out.
Yeah.
Chinese New Year, right?
Actually Chinese New Year is the single. Wow, I didn't even link the two.
Yeah.
See, this was totally unintentional.
Okay.
Chinese New Year is the joint that we dropped, and it is pretty much the first single off the upcoming project. So the album itself is called 1459.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, we can get right into that. It's basically me saying what to do when you're down to the last second of your 15 minutes of fame.
Okay.
And that's kind of, I mean, at one point I definitely felt like that. But if you ask me right now, well, Jin, what do you think about that? Do you think you're still doing it? Are you popping? Are you not popping? I mean, I think I'll be brutally honest. I definitely think that I'm not at the peak where I was before, as far as within the hip hop community. So I don't mean as far as like my involvement with the culture. If anything, I've never been more passionate about the culture, rhyming, performing. Right. But if we were just straight up to say, yo, is Jin popping right now or not popping? I'll be the first one to say, not necessarily. As far as in the current wave of guys that are out there, right, doing big things. And so that is kind of the heart behind 1459, which was throughout these last couple years is I was living in China for a while. And those few years out there really opened my mind to a lot of things, right? And not only just on a career level, but just as a young man, right? So when I went out there, I was just still kind of blind and lost. But by the time I came back, I spent 4 years there. By the time I came back, man, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I got a 2-year-old. In regards to my faith, at a place that I don't want to say it was at an all-time high. It was at a place that has never been, right? Coming into that relationship with God. So all of these growth and development things, but one of them was me coming to an understanding or an acceptance of reality in terms of my career. And what does that mean is, yeah, you know, I mean, for those watching that aren't familiar, I mean, definitely not new to the scene, right?
No,
I mean, I did the math the other day, and it's been 12 years since the whole Freestyle Friday, and then signing with, we got the Ride or Die Volume 1 over there. Exactly. I mean, I remember when that came out, I was still in high school, I think. So when I signed with Ruff Ryders in about 2002, it was mind-blowing and a game changer for me.
Yeah.
So to put it in perspective, I'm definitely not where I am now that I was then, signing with the R, dropping that album. But 1459 is really an audio kind of collection of what these last 10 years have been like.
Okay, so I want to know your perspective on like kind of the re-emergence of battle rap. Oh wow. Becoming like a mainstream thing again. Okay. Right? Because like everybody was really into like battle rap back when like BT had like 106 Park and it was like so much crazy shit, and then like Eminem had did like the 8 Mile shit, so people started getting back into that because he was doing the battle raps and the 8 Mile movies. So people were like, yeah, and then it kind of died down a while. You know, shit happens in hip hop. It's very cyclical, and now it's coming back. Like Drake, like he like challenged Murder Mook,
and he's always at the KOTD battles.
And he is.
As well, yeah.
And then Joe.
There's a bunch. Cassidy is about to battle Disaster. Yeah. I mean, it's cool that it's getting to a point where you can list so many of these things and you even lose track. I mean, I'm kind of bummed. This is recently Keith Murray was supposed to battle Fred. It didn't happen at the event from what I heard. Hopefully it still goes down.
Hopefully it does.
But to answer your question, I mean, I think even in my last 2 statements, it does show I've definitely been paying attention. And
Jin is staying woke over here.
Yeah. I mean, I think also a big revelation I had is when I went to the Total Slaughter event.
Okay.
You know, the one that was a couple months back in New York.
With Joe.
That's when Joe battled Hollow.
Okay, so what was your was it like? I just feel like Joe gave up.
Well, outside of the battle itself, that wasn't what I was gonna get to, but I guess I can kind of drop my 2 cents. Well, my 2 cents on that battle in particular, or the night as a whole?
No, that battle in particular.
I think what happened doesn't take away at all from Joe's legacy, right? But as far as like, if you were just like, yo, just straight up, who won, Jin? I think Hollow definitely bested him there in that particular.
I think Hollow got into Joe's head, and it fucked him up off his game. And then he just decided that. He was gonna.
Well, but here's the thing with that, in this particular case with Hollow and Joe, and this is something I always dwell upon myself too, when people are like, yo, Jin, when we gonna see you back in it, right? So there's a correlation, and that is, yo, that particular platform, I'm not saying Joe has no stripes in battles, because he came up from the battling thing too, right? From what I know, you know, and he's a spitter, right? So that all of those elements are there. But in terms of this particular platform and where it's at currently, that was his first time really stepping back into it. But on the other side, that's Hollow's playground. That's Disaster's playground. That's Charlie Clips' playground. That's Daylight's playground. I can go on and on, you see what I'm saying? So the thing with these situations, let's go to one that's on the horizon, that's not happening yet. Cassidy jumping in with this. And I'm chiming in purely as a fan and a student of the sport, so I have no real particular allegiance or vested interest, but just as a fan of the culture, that's the interesting and fun dynamic. You don't know how Cass will respond to it. Because you could be like, yo, that's Disaster's playground. Like I said, it is, right? He has that upper hand in terms of familiarity. But the surprise element that Cass has is crazy too. Because you've never seen him in it, you don't know what he's capable of. So we'll see when it actually happens.
Okay, so you mentioned your Christianity and your faith. Lecrae, actually, he dropped his album, I think, last week? No, 2 weeks ago? He went #1. And I don't think it was surprising, but I think a lot of people weren't expecting him to go #1 because I think he was up against Janae Aiko and a few other great artists who are like more popular, I guess, mainstream. So is your new album gonna have like a lot of Christian references in it, or?
You know what it'll have? It'll have honest, authentic life references. Okay. And I think the album is a very pure reflection of kind of my journey as well as where I'm at now. So just to touch real quick on Lecrae and Anomaly, right? Perfect concept, perfect album, perfect, I mean, as far as in capturing who he is, where he is in terms of his music, his ministry. He is an anomaly, right? But I think what he's saying in the context of the album and the message is, yo, believers are anomalies in that sense, right? We are in this world. We're supposed to be in it, but not a part of it, right? And we're supposed to be that light in the darkness. We're not supposed to be like, yo, I'm a Christian, so I'm staying with my Christians and I ain't going out there and I ain't interacting and engaging. But it's such a very fine line to walk though, because who's to really gauge what is being a part of and, you know, wanting to go in and be a light in the darkness, right? So it's vague, and everybody has their 2 cents, and I know he gets a lot of slack for it too, because the thing you know, and I say this once again as a fan too, so I'm a Lecrae fan, and that is, yo, he's not new to any of this, right? So I mean, like the recent years between like the Grammy and Anomaly going #1, he like 7, 8 albums deep. And I think one thing about the #1 album, the recent one you just mentioned, it speaks a lot about how much groundwork he's put into and how he's poured into what he really does, and that is really trying to touch lives and change people.
Back earlier in your career, you had did a song with Kanye, didn't you?
Yeah, on the Ruff Ryder album.
Yeah, did you actually get in the studio with him?
We did.
What was Kanye like back then?
My experience with Kanye was definitely not as exciting as many would think. And I would say I'm probably at fault for that. And what I mean is, I'm in the studio, and the best way I can describe it is, I think I was more of a fan than a creator. And what happened was, in that process, I also think I missed the opportunity to really connect on a human-to-human level with him too. Because I mean, it's a super intimate setting, right? I mean, we're in the lab, there might be like another engineer or something, but it was a real opportunity to pick his brain and build, right? But I think I let, yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. 1459.
Yes, that's coming out soon in the Chinese New Year.
It's a single. Yeah, I got a video, nice fun video that I shot for that out in the Bay with the man himself, Jeremy Lin.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's an interesting story too, how we met. I mean, congrats to him. He's playing in LA now, and super down-to-earth, humble, big-hearted, young guy. I mean, like, I got a few years on him, but sometimes I'm blown away because I look up to him. Both, I mean, literally, of course, right? He's like 8 feet taller than me, but also in many ways too, as far as his perseverance and how he's so rooted in his faith. That's a big thing. So he came through, showed love in the video. We had a good time doing that. Every day is Chinese New Year.
Hey.
Yo, what's up? Gong Hei Fa Choi. This is MC Jin, and you are watching GlobalGrind TV. Peace.
He said Pharrell sat at the board,
right,
like this.
Pick me up on a helicopter and take me to, no, I don't know.